we're discussing Entertainment Weekly's year-end Best in Entertainment issue. The magazine's top TV shows of the year were Atlanta, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, The Americans, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and O.J. Made in America. The O.J. Simpson case was captivating when it happened in the 90s. Why was 2016 the year for it to be explored again on TV?
It is really fascinating because who would have thought there would be these two series, one obviously a docu-series and one the Ryan Murphy scripted one that would, I remember when it was announced that Ryan Murphy was doing this and I was like, that is a terrible idea. No, we all watched this, like we all know what happened, everything about it. And yet somehow the brilliant performances, Sarah Paulson, Sterling K. Brown, Courtney B. Vance, such amazing performances, and it brought so much to the story. And then the O.J. Made in America, the ESPN documentary, taught you even more. That final episode of the doc, when you see what O.J.'s been on, when he's stealing memorabilia, it's insane.
The helicopter pilot, that was my favorite. The one that was the traffic chopper pilot. That I loved that person in the documentary. I thought that was just a great angle to talk to about it. No, but it's incredible that I know. It's incredible. It's weird. I think because race is still such an issue in our country, sadly, I think that's partially why it really registered and resonated so much with people, is that these issues that came up in the trial are still coming up today, unfortunately. But I think that really made it so relevant.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Ryan Murphy will make an American Crime Story season about the 2016 election in 20 years? I can't even think about that. I don't even want to.
I would love his take on this set of characters.
Who's Sarah Paulson going to play?
Hills. She'll play HRC. Yes. She's totally HRC.
I don't think Sarah Paulson wants that. I think she wants a more layered character. Maybe. I think she would take Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, she'd be a good Kellyanne Conway.
That's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
Who could be HRC though?
Felicity Huffman.
Ooh, very generous.
Full of
cast already, haven't you?
I'm actually writing the script right now, guys.
That's a good one.
Dear Ryan, I have ideas.
I like that.
The great series Atlanta is the first show, or one of the first shows, to have an all-black writing staff. We're seeing Hollywood make some progress in terms of diversity. What other things do you think need to happen to address this sort of long-standing diversity problem in the entertainment industry?
Oh man! I think visibility.
More executives.
Tim, take it on.
Let me take on the diversity.
Solve
of
it for us right now.
Wow. I think more executives that are of color,
who's greenlighting the show?
Yeah.
Who's developing the show? Who's running the production companies? It has to be who's directing the shows. Also, this is a problem. As far as diversity goes with women too. The number of women directing shows is ridiculously low, and you have a season of a high-profile show like Game of Thrones, and last season not one woman director. These are things that must be addressed, and I think it's great. Atlanta is a brilliant show. It was one of my favorite shows this year. Mm-hmm. I think Donald Glover is an absolute talent and just brilliant, and did something so great. I loved every episode of the season.
I think Atlanta does a lot. What Atlanta does great is a lot of what Moonlight did great, which is a story. It's a story about Black Americans, but it's not simply about that.
Yes,
it's a story.
Absolutely.
It's a story that takes place within Black America. It's not intentional. It's not trying to preach. It's not trying to. It doesn't feel like somebody, like a white observer, trying to tell that story.
Exactly.
It feels lived in.
But I also think that part of, I would even just take race out of the conversation when you talk about Atlanta in some ways, because it is just Donald Glover had this specific weird vision. Mm-hmm. And given that we're in a world where there are, 150 new shows every year, he got the platform to tell his story. Yeah. And that's what's so cool about that show and about TV to me right now, that people are getting the chance to tell kind of these very weird, small slices of life that maybe reflect Black America, or maybe reflect growing up in Atlanta, or maybe, that's what I think is kind of so cool about Atlanta.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. In the post-peak TV landscape, it's getting harder each year to watch every great show. Like you said, 150 new shows, right, a year. How did you all find out about what you needed to be watching outside of, the wonderful man?
I think that's our job, right? Yeah. So we're literally sitting there getting the first episode or two episodes of every new show coming across our desks, and we watch them. And, we may not all watch everything, but when one person watches something, they say, this
you have
is
to check that out. Yes.
You have to check it out. Then we share those around the office, and that's how we figure it out, honestly.
It's like germs.
It spreads.
Must-watch documentary series like Made in America are a relatively new genre. Do you guys think 2017 will see more of these types of limited series?
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's just yes, absolutely. I think Making a Murderer 2, I think, really started a whole trend,
Right.
and I think the OJ documentary is just propelled that even
And
further
And we'll
forward.
see.
And the
We're going to see a lot more true
Yeah.
crime. Also,
a lot more true crime too with American Crime Story. I
It's so
think.
strange to me that people are acting like true crime is a new thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're talking about maybe like serious, like prestige true crime,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
true
Yes.
crime has been a staple of television
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
decades.
it's
Hello,
like basic
Lifetime.
cable. Yeah.
I know, hello, Lifetime
Yeah.
movies.
Totally.
There's an entire channel, ID Discovery, that is
Yeah.
based off of producing episodes of true crime.
Yeah, that is an Insomniac's best friend.
It is the best show,
Yeah.
or the best channel. Did you guys have a personal favorite show that didn't quite make the list this year?
My show was on the list, but it wasn't as high as I would have wanted it to be, which was Better Things. Also on FX, premiered the same week as Atlanta. Pamela Adlon's, again, like similar to Atlanta, it is
Yep.
one person's vision, it's one person's story, and she did it with Louis C.K. I think it was the greatest show. I mean, I loved every second. It's very rare. I think we all watch so much on DVR and on playback, and we're constantly watching different things. That was appointment television for me. I watched that when it was on, and it blew me away every week.
For me, my show is Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I think that this season of Game of Thrones it got bigger in production values and smaller in terms of scope and the characters, and it just really clicked. Not knowing what was going to happen because it outstripped the books was just such a great watch every week. I thought that they made some really smart moves with the characters, moving the chess pieces kind of around Westeros. I loved it.
Mine was Stranger Things. I love the Goonies is my favorite movie of all time, and they captured that energy in a way that was so special and unique. And that cast is like just the best, I think. And I just love that show so much.
Tim was the first person ever on that.
Well, Mitha was actually the first
Oh,
person
you-
ever.
yeah,
Mitha
you-
told me that I would love it, and then we
Like the
tried
flu.
to. It was
Yes,
like the flu.
yes.
Like the
and
Stranger
then
Things
you
flu.
told me. It literally spread right down the line. And that was a great pop culture touchstone this year, I would say.
Yeah.
It truly seemed that like within a
That's
week
true.
of that coming out,
Yeah, everyone loves
every
Stranger
single
Things.
person you knew was binging it.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting when you had that was like Empire season 1. It was
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
not that common to have that kind of moment in pop culture.
No,
And Stranger
totally.
Things was definitely that.
What were your guys' least favorite shows besides Fuller House?
Ooh, oh
Fuller
God.
House.
Well, I don't like The Ranch. I think The Ranch is terrible with Ashton Kutcher. That's probably.
I did not like Westworld.
Ooh.
And I know that's an unpopular
Provocative.
opinion, yeah. But I just feel like it thought it was way better than it was. I was kind of offended
a
by
little
it at
pretentious.
times, and the other times I was just like, okay, like let's not pretend that you're the amazing show you think you are.
Yeah.
A lot of naked people sitting on things.
A lot of chairs.
A lot of dirty butts. A lot
Yeah.
of dirty butts. Dirty butts.
I wouldn't say it was the worst, but I was disappointed by the season of Mr. Robot. It just wasn't what it wasn't what season 1 was. It wasn't what I was hoping for. The twists were not, they undercut kind of what I liked about the show.
It was such a bummer, right?
Yeah.
When you come
Yeah.
off of a great
A
season
great first
1.
season.
For me, Stranger Things.
Wow,
Get out of
controversial.
here. Get out of
You
here.
did not catch your flu.
Defend yourself.
I did not. I watched the whole thing. I did not appreciate the nostalgia that it had.
Were you alive
There was
in the
too
80s?
much
Are you
going
an
on in
American?
the world at that moment that I was like, I don't want to nostalgize the 80s. This is crazy what's happening. Why is everybody wrapped up in nostalgia right now?
Well, I don't know.
And I also didn't think it captured those movies in that era.
Oh
that
my
very
God,
well.
I
Get
loved it
out of this
so
multicolored room.
much.